Let's start. Your name is Boris.
Yes.
We've talked a couple of times. You're, if I remember correctly, you're a philosopher, or you've studied philosophy.
Yes. Now I'm mostly making music, actually, so more of a musician.
Do you play in some sort of band, or so anything?
Yeah, I play in one psychedelic rock band. It's called Hugs of the Sky, and I also have my solo project, Boris Willems Is, and I'm also in a label kind of thing. We're setting up shows, Dishwash. It's like a booking agency for bands and friends and all kinds of musicians.
And you're located in, I think, Hasselt or anything of the sort, if I remember correctly.
Originated from Hasselt in Limburg, but now I live close to Leuven.
Oh, yeah.
After my studies, I stayed in Leuven.
You've already written quite a couple of songs, you told me, and you're you're a very imaginative type of person.
Yeah.
So I think I asked you for the podcast because it was one of the things that I'm currently working on. I had two people. Yesterday I had one, and Friday I had one. So I thought, why not? And I mainly started talking to you because I put out a vacancy for being a screenwriter.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Do you have any sort of experience with screenwriting?
I wrote a play based on the writings of Jean-Paul Sartre. It's a French philosopher. There I helped writing the play and also directed it. So I think that's my main experience next to just writing philosophical texts and songs. So as a screenwriter, this will be for me also kind of an exploration, something new, but something I'm really interested in doing. So yeah, that's why I reacted to your vacature.
I had quite a couple of people apply, and you definitely stand out because you definitely fit the criteria of something that I was looking for, because I've seen that you're, or at least I can tell from the call right now, that you're a fan of The Matrix, I'm guessing, or are you just Keanu Reeves fan in general?
Keanu Reeves also makes music. I only just discovered this, and it's not especially good or something, but I like the fact that Keanu Reeves, next to his tremendously full acting career, he is doing music as well. So you might say I'm a fan of Keanu in a way, but yeah, I know him because of the Matrix, and that's an amazing movie, and it's a really philosophical, layered movie. So I really like the Matrix and Keanu. Yes.
Can you maybe tell something about yourself? Like what type of I already know some of it, but if someone is listening right now, I'm not streaming right now. I'm mainly recording, but if it goes up, what would you um, tell about yourself? What type of person are you? What are your like philosophy we know by now, but like, what type of interests do you mainly have?
Um, yeah, I have a lot of interests. I think mainly philosophy, and as I studied philosophy, it has to do with a lot of fields, of course, like with when you have a philosophy, it has implications for like everything, like and I really like the domain between philosophy as like a science in some kind of way. Like you can have principles and like an ethic, and how these principles like have to do with your concrete life. And I think this is the domain of aesthetics. So I think this is mainly my interest, like how aesthetics can be political, how, what is the domain of aesthetics in relation to philosophy, like philosophy of art. You might say that may be my main interest, yeah.
Is there like particular philosophy that you adhere to, or do you have like some philosophy of your own that you've developed over the years or something like that?
I'm very much a fan and a critic as well of Deleuze and Guattari. They're two French philosophers who lived and worked mainly in the 60s and 70s in Paris. And I read a lot of them. Still, I read a lot of them, and yeah, I think this philosophy is really interesting because it is some kind of historical combination between Nietzsche, Spinoza, and these two are like, and a lot of other philosophers as well. Deleuze, he writes about a lot of literature and a lot of philosophy, a lot of references. But I think mainly his genius is in the combination between Nietzsche and Spinoza, and yeah, that's because of with Spinoza there is like a whole potential in like nature. Like for Spinoza, God is nature, and it's curious because the combination with Nietzsche is there, and for Nietzsche, as we all know, like the one things everyone knows about Nietzsche is God is dead. So Deleuze is a really interesting philosopher in combining these two, like God is in nature, and also like the Nietzschean part, what's left of it or something. What is nature still? How do we relate as humans? And yeah, they wrote, Deleuze and Guattari, they wrote a lot together on these topics, but Deleuze alone as well, and his like older works are more like the philosophical basis of this kind of philosophy, I think, and they started exploring it in the years after he wrote this, in relation to politics and arts, hence the aesthetics maybe. So yeah, this is kind of the basis for me for starting with thinking, I think.
Do you What type of play was it that you wrote? That was like, was it also a philosophical type of work, or was it was based on some writer? I kind of forgot the name, I guess, right now, but
Yeah, Jean-Paul Sartre.
oh yeah,
He's also a French philosopher, also friend of Deleuze. And yeah, he's a Marxist philosopher, and the play I interpreted was The Locked Room, or Huis Clos. It's where the famous quote from L'Enfer c'est les autres comes from. So it's also like in this play, he like shows how other people on Earth already are like the how do you say, like the queller of the tormentor of yourself and your dreams, and so that's why hell is on Earth already with Jean-Paul Sartre, because it's in other people. And he goes into this topic in the play. It's like 3 people who die, and they discover during the play that that they were dead all the time, actually. So it's quite a funny way to show that hell, the 3 people, they discover that they are tormenting each other in the hell, but they have actually done all their life already. So it's a comical, also a little bit tragic play. But we tried to make it really, really funny. Like we put a lot of like modern references in it about Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and stuff. So it was more of like, yeah, actually it's not so bad as Sartre depicts it in his original play. That was kind of the idea we wanted to put, like, maybe it is hell, but maybe it's not so bad.
well, I think I'm not going to go too deep into the I want to do a movie and a graphic novel.
Yes.
I don't want to give away all the stuff, especially since I'm going to put this online.
Yeah.
And it would be I don't know. I wanna slightly talk about it, but I don't wanna spoil or go too far. So since I'm also looking for how we're how I'm going to do it, because it's like I don't know any specific. I think most of the types of production companies, the movie production companies that I'm looking for are mostly based in America.
Yeah.
Since there's not a lot of, in terms of movie, there's Cinevox, which is halfway decent, but they're mainly focused on very well. I haven't really looked it up, but they're very Flemish, and I really wanna stay away from doing a very stereotypical Flemish type of movie. I really want to go into the American, kind of like it has a similar theme to The Matrix.
Okay.
It has the same underlying structure to it, but it's going to be in a very, very different setting. It might also like involve like AI and more sci-fi stuff.
Cool.
But it's I think it's once I can go further and really go into production for this movie, I can say more about it. But it's definitely going to be a movie where there's no holes barred, and it can be extremely philosophical and like psychological as well. Like very, I
Yeah,
want to do a movie that's really, something new, very psychedelic like,
yeah,
very,
that's great.
you know, um, something that's really not been done before. I really want to capture like the audience and bring them in and like bend their mind the way a psychedelic trip would do so, but like put in like very psychological points in the story, and then um, yeah, make
So
people.
also like the will the images be, because you have maybe this kind of movie like SF film. I don't know if you heard about this kind of movie, but like Waking Life from Richard Linklater. It's also kind of psychedelic in a way that it is. They are just talking philosophy all the time, but there isn't like really a concrete story happening. And also like the images are not, they are animated, but they're not with dragons or with so I was wondering in the relation between image and story, how this would be for you, like also in imagery, very trippy shit and very psychedelic, or more on, or both, or
Yeah, I was thinking like mixing a lot of different genres together and really, um,
yeah.
science fiction, fantasy type of stuff. But yeah, very. Um, it has to have a basis in reality. So the audience is like, uh, when you have a trip, you're just in reality, and then slowly it builds up into this psychedelic trip. And so I want to make a movie that takes the audience also on that same journey,
Yeah,
that it has it captures the audience with something that's very, um, that the audience understands, and it's like very much, the story very much grounded in reality, and they understand it, and then slowly you start to, like the Matrix. It's like taking the red pill, and then you start playing
yeah, yeah.
with their perception, and their kind of taking them into like a
Okay,
different world,
yeah, that sounds really nice. Yeah, um, I'd love to think about this more, and even for me, especially, I think it's interesting to work with sound, like soundtrack wise. I am also producing for my own psychedelic rock band, and composing for myself very experimental soundtrack like stuff. So yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah. You should send me something sometime so I
sure.
can listen. Because that I haven't. I have friends. Well, yeah, some of my friends haven't been, since Corona haven't been here for a while. But I have a friend that also does music, but he's more of a electronic music, hip hop type of kind of a guy.
Okay.
But he can also I know how to push him in. So there's definitely a lot of options that I can go into when it comes to music, and we'll
Cool.
definitely work together in a lot of ways. Do you have like Do you know anybody that has done something in the realms of graphic novels or anything of that sort?
Um, in graphic novel, no. I was thinking not personally. It's a genre I like very much, but I, I really like animation films. I also doubted before I went to study philosophy to study animation movie. But yeah, maybe it's I didn't really go very deep in this. Sometimes I draw like little strips from one page or something still, but that's I didn't go as far as in sound in a graphic novel, but I really like it.
Yeah. What type of graphic novel do you like usually?
Yeah, I like Belgian ones. If you could call it graphic novel already, then maybe not. But like even Kamagurka or something, I think it's. I think Belgium is really like a good country for strips um, and even like child strips like. Lucky Luke or Asterix. But yeah, this is more like strip and not graphic novel. So and it's more in strips actually if I think about it.
What type of animation movie do you think about when you're?
Yeah, like I told you, like Waking Life from Richard Linklater. He also has other movies in the same type, like there is this Scanner Darkly. That's this also maybe a little bit what you're looking for. Maybe that you should watch this one, Scanner Darkly. It's sci-fi animated by Richard Linklater. And yeah, it has like a plot. I think Richard Linklater has very clearly in his mind what happens to the characters and stuff. Like it's not random at all, but during the movie, it's really difficult to get. It's like always there's something grasping away when you think you have understood the situation of the main character, and yeah, this is a really good movie, Scanner Darkly, and yeah, I think Richard Linklater in this field he did something like animation movie. I'm also thinking about another one. I don't know if it's his, but I'm gonna look up for a minute. It's called Anomalisa. Maybe.
I think a friend of mine just told me about that, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, it's from Charlie Kaufman movie, so it's also an animation movie. Anomalisa.
Anomalisa.
Anomalisa. Yes.
Anoma.
Yeah.
N.
Yes.
I don't get any results.
Anomalisa.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was on Malisa.
Okay. But yeah, this style is also really interesting. It's more I don't know the technical terms, but it's more plastic or something. It's not drawn, but it's like obviously animated. So I don't know how to say, but it's also like an interesting style of animation.
Yeah, that's the type of movie I get nightmares when I see that. I really am kind of well, I don't think I really have any phobias, but like animated dolls are usually kind of
Yeah,
something that I'm like.
okay, yeah,
No, but when it comes to the movie I want to produce, it's definitely going to be more of a, well, I am definitely going to have a lot of things. Well, maybe it could be part of the yeah, now that you say it, I'm definitely going to cross over into a lot of different genres, like 2D animation, going into
yeah,
3D and those types of stuff, to really have that, like, you know,
yeah,
when you're on a psychedelic trip, you might, everything might become cartoony and stuff like that. So you definitely could play with that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, great.
So it's definitely some type of. I was going to say something, but kind of losing my trail of thought.
Yeah, I'm thinking about other animation movies, but for me, it's like Richard Linklater, Scanner Darkly. When I saw this one, I hadn't seen a movie as good as this in a long time. Like, for me, it was revealing in a way, so science fiction animated. Yeah, really what I like in art or something. And also Keanu Reeves plays in the movie. I see it now. I forgot, but he is animated in the movie, so it's
Oh,
it's
right,
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's the movie where he's like, he becomes like, for, well, I'm going to say spoiler, but for if anyone is watching, um, but it's like he becomes psychotic, and then
Yeah,
at the end
that's not
he,
the clear like.
or he's like, yeah, sure, sure, or he's literally, what, is that not clear?
Yeah, it's yeah. I think that's
It
it's
might
an
be that he's,
interpretation to say that he, and probably that's the case, because psychosis is a lot about like something too much to bear or something, and he goes in some kind of drive that drives himself crazy. But at the same time, this kind of it's also what just happens, I think, when you when you work a lot or something, or when you go really deep in some kind of issue. And I think this is what Keanu does in this movie. And yeah, maybe you could call it psychotic. I think that's not a bad interpretation or something, but I don't think it's so clear to say this. And you should ask Richard Linklater. Obviously, maybe he wants to. It's like some kind of awareness movie for psychosis or something, or the opposite even. So. But I don't know if this is the main issue at stake. This is what I wanted to say. Like,
yeah. I think I was going to ask something about, still trying to figure it out. It's like, yeah, I think, oh yeah, your band. Are you aiming to do something in particular with your band? Are you like trying to get into music festivals, or are you already? Well, now it's not possible, but are you like?
Yeah, with Hikes of the Sky, actually, we did a lot of gigs. Like we did 2 European tours in the last year, and we had booked another tour for March and April, like for the months that passed, and it was like 19 gigs, among which 9 as a support act from the Sisters of Mercy. So it was quite big for us, like, but now all these gigs got put towards 2021 already. So it's just waiting. Like now we can do gigs or trying to make a movie or something now. So. Yeah, but we are on a point that we can like aim for gigs. I think it's obvious for us ourselves that we, like all of the band, we are so into music and into each other and into the genre, and like we just play. It's like, this is what we do or something. So we for now it's really sad that shows didn't go through, but it doesn't mean that we will stop making music or something. Like we had some bad things already before, and we know that if you just be patient and hard work, maybe pay or something in the end. But it's sad, but not the end of the world. Like, it's for everyone. So we try to sell our vinyls now a little more and stuff. It's, of course, financially it's really difficult or something for me in particular, because I'm the booker of the band, and I.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
You.
How do I sound?
Good. It can be a little bit louder, maybe.
Louder? Let's see. Wait. How is this?
Yeah, that's great. That's good.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. So we dropped off last time. I'm guessing. I think you were calling from your phone. And yeah. But I'm gonna stitch these two together so we have a full episode.
Okay.
I was listening to what you were saying last time. I don't know if picking up from there is going to be possible. You were saying something about being the booker of your band. And just in general, you know, Corona. I don't remember what the question was, but yeah, we were talking about doing a movie, screenwriting.
Yes.
You were talking a bit about your life. I think have you had any thoughts in the time that I haven't seen you?
Nothing special. Maybe about the movie. I wanted to discuss more. That's the only thing. Like hear more about your ideas on the movie. Like if you have already concrete things in your head.
Yeah, I think mainly I wanna go wacky and weird, but not wacky and weird in like a childish way. I wanna go wacky and weird in a very psychological, philosophical, very more adult way. I don't think I want to go into like horror or any
Okay.
the action movie type of stuff. Really very I think like I said last time, starting from reality, building from there, and then this kind of like Inception, like deconstructing reality and then messing with reality. But I want to go like a step further than Inception, like really mind-bending, psychological, very CGI based a lot. I think very a lot of special effects, very like abstract psychedelic type of stuff, but not in such a way that it's like completely unrelatable, and that's like one of those 90s Goa mix, this type of stuff you see on YouTube where it's just like visuals, more based in reality still, but really more towards the fantasy.
Okay, but still a little playful maybe then, if it's wacko.
Yeah, definitely like a lot of psychological stuff, and very a lot of plot points. A lot of it is visual, and visual is hard to explain at times. You can't always put a visual into words.
So
like it.
it like just happens to the viewer. It's maybe not like
it has to be like
there is a character in the movie even, but more like just like the viewer of the movie is a character or something. Something like this, or
it could be. Yeah. I was thinking about going into different dimensions and stuff, and having it go into different scenes. I don't know. I wanna make it. It definitely is going to be in some way coherent. I think you can't tell a story without being coherent in some way. Even like Pulp Fiction is like not a coherent movie, but it's still a coherent movie. Something like Memento, or
okay, so with different timelines maybe that collide in one point, or
yeah, that's what I mean with like wacky and weird. It can like go just whatever you can come up with. That's like like just every type of psychological movie that you can imagine, but like combined into one even more, like. But it still has to make sense that you're not just watching a movie where you're just
there has to be some moral maybe in it, like can you learn something? Is it like is there a point in the general movie, or is it like just the point is that it can be perceived as reality is maybe not as you think, but there isn't like a clear alternative given in the movie, or is
I definitely think it needs to leave the audience like a little bit flabbergasted and a little bit questioning, the way they see the world and how they view reality. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still piecing it all together because I don't know
Yeah,
how it's going to have I think that's why I need you, so I
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
have someone to help me with like how is it going to start, how is it going to progress over time, and like the how everything can be bringing it together in a very a plot structure that's
yeah, yeah,
very
yeah. Okay, yeah, because I think maybe there is this movie. It's called Fata Morgana. It's I think it's maybe even from Werner Herzog documentary movie, and it's just like a picture of how the Mayan people in Peru see the world, and it's like their genealogy, like their Genesis story or something. And it's really interesting, this documentary, because there doesn't happen a lot or something, but it's like a dream or something, like how it's just images and still it is quite coherent. Like it is a story of how like a people came into being or something. So maybe it can be something like this, but this of course what you maybe you have this kind of worldview that you think everything is connected in a way, in this way or that way, and maybe this can be like a track to follow to make it like this kind of creation story of the world,
yeah, that's definitely possible. We can go into all sorts of we can go into religious ideas, or we can go into I'm not going to give away the main point of the movie yet, but I'm
Okay.
gonna definitely I'm not gonna do that while I'm now
On
recording,
the
and
podcast. Yeah.
I need to make sure that everything is like in order, and we can go into some sort of production before I do
Yeah.
that, and then
Sure.
definitely it should be fine.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm really curious. Like if you have some ideas already in like a file that you want to share, I can always look into it and maybe see if I see a structure, things like that.
I think when we were talking, I thought I told you no. I asked like whether you had some ideas of your own. Is there like if we work together, is there like some sort of movie you would like to produce yourself?
Yeah, I feel quite like affected in a way that you are talking about this kind of movie. It sounds like free enough still to put some ideas or something like. I think if I would produce a movie, it would be rather comparable, especially on the psychedelic part and like the psychological. So yeah, and also like we were talking about last time, the animation part. So for me, this kind of movie is also like maybe I would. I don't know, like have it very clear, but we will have it probably at one point very clear for ourselves what it is, at least, and then then it is like just an adventure for people watching it, and still they can interpret. But yeah, this is actually sounds very good. Your movie idea.
Yeah. Now I have to think about last time. You were, what was the play again that you had created? I think you did if I remember correctly, a play at some point.
Yes, it was based on Huis Clos, so the closed room of Jean-Paul Sartre. It's. Do you have to explain this? Like the
You don't have
main
to explain
idea?
it again. It was more of a question to remind myself what it was again. But yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
I definitely think if you want to do something like that, we can, if everything is set up.
Maybe there are some elements that I would like put in a movie, like in this piece, and that's the part of absurdity. Like it can be really absurd. Like I don't know how yet, or something like absurdity or things you can't even imagine or think of. So, and it can be for me also in like a funny, humorous way sometimes, and this is also very aanwezig in the play. Like it's there in the play as well. Like it's really absurd situation actually that these people that are that find themselves into, and so I think this kind of absurdity can maybe be the coherent element, even. Like it is so absurd, and like how reality is in itself. It is we can this even like basic philosophical question we can't even think about, like the structures. We can try with our science and try to know something, but probably what happens in somewhere in the universe, it is so completely absurd. And I think this kind of absurdity, maybe that should also be put, like, or this is an element that we can play with, like if it is more like a total story, like a metaphysical concept even, like, so that it can be completely absurd, like with quantum physics and stuff. They have been thinking about crazy stuff lately, and I think in quantum science there will be, in the course of the century, there will be a lot of things possible, probably. So maybe we can try to be a bit visionary on this.
Yeah,
so
sure. I think definitely surreal aspects, and just Now, of course, we are going to call it surreal, but I think, The Matrix was also a surreal movie, like a decade or two ago, and I think, a lot of it has become quite, not all of it is surreal anymore, so we kind of live in that kind of...
Yeah. Yeah, but The Matrix is also like Plato, the philosopher Plato, vision of the world is that there is like a world behind the world, and this is the world of ideas. And I think in The Matrix, this kind of philosophical view is shown. Like sometimes in philosophy classes they give The Matrix as an example of Plato, and maybe it's interesting to have not like this duality, like it isn't in some world behind the real world, but the real world itself is like real. It's like there is nothing behind it, and this is maybe the complete absurdity that that the surreal is already in real.
Yeah, yeah. I was also thinking about, you know, I'm definitely moving right now into doing 3D. You know, we're definitely going to do the movie in certain 3. I was thinking of shooting the movie at least partially or fully in Unreal Engine, because if you know, Unreal Engine 5 is coming out now, and the name already is the concept, like Unreal. I definitely think you know, having that name.
And what kind of engine is it?
Unreal Engine, which is well, yeah, it's a gaming engine. It's a 3D engine where that has like lighting and stuff. You can build games and stuff in that. I think a lot of games these days are AAA games are built in Unreal Engine. I'm going to look again.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like it's Epic Games. It is what games are built. I think does Riot Games. I think at least Blizzard uses it for most of their games. I'm guessing here, but or Borderlands or whatever. I don't play games anymore, but I'm more going into the realm of building them.
Okay.
So we can take. I don't think the idea of the movie is going to translate very well into making a game, but we can use sort of or more or less the same idea. So
yeah, this sounds really interesting. Yeah.
I hope that.
I had a question about it, but yeah, I don't remember.
Well, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, I'm writing a new album for my band since some months actually already, but I'm starting to bundle the ideas and starting the recording soon. So yeah, I'm busy with this. It's not like really intense or something, but I know that it should be done. So I just do it, and it's fun. It's it's cool.
So you're building a new album? Oh yeah, maybe. You already have music, right?
Sorry?
You already published music, right?
Yes, yeah. Several.
I haven't actually heard the music, so maybe I should. What was the name of the band again?
Hugs of the Sky.
Can I find that on YouTube or on SoundCloud or whatever?
On YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Bandcamp.
Yeah. Okay, definitely. I have it open in a tab. I'm not gonna play right now because it's going to start now, but I'm definitely gonna watch later.
Thanks. Yeah, this concept of the game, by the way, yeah, this is really interesting. But like, my question actually was how, like, what is it as a viewer of the movie that you see? Like if it is filmed inside of the game, it's like the game, the scenery for the movie, or is it like a person playing the game? Like,
Well, I don't know necessarily whether the game is going to be the exact same thing as the movie, but it could be possible. But I think
yeah,
doing I'm definitely going. I'm now moving into the spheres of doing 3D. I've done that off and on, but I've never really. I needed to really get my fundamentals down and knowing how shapes and stuff were working, and I'm in a spot where I can comfortably say that I can start designing like architecture and other types of terrain and stuff. And I know how to do all that stuff, and I definitely am moving. The movies are made in exactly the same software as the games are made in. So the
okay,
transition is not very. A lot of you'd be surprised about wherefore they are using 3D these days. In the average sitcom where you wouldn't think they were using 3D, they use 3D now because the costs are just way lower to just download
simulated.
a few props and put it in there, and it's like, especially I think you should maybe look up the Unreal Engine 5 video if you can look at that at a high resolution video. Like the graphics are getting really.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Really.
It's really an interesting track.
So yeah, but I think if you do a game, it can be something like Portal or some puzzle game. I think that's something, but the game is making a game is pretty straightforward. So I don't know if that needs too much thought. Maybe about the plot. I definitely need someone to write a plot. So that's also something where you can come in.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm guessing that's
Yeah, Unreal Engine. Oh yeah, I found it. Yeah, at one point it will be just inseparable from a reality of. If you see this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You'd be amazed if you're watching a movie that is made these days and you're thinking you're watching a regular scene. You're just watching something that's made with a camera and that's recorded somewhere. Most of the time that's just pure CG, and the only reason most people think that you can see when it's CG and when it's not, because you're used to like a certain, when a character is like talking, it looks really creepy. But the reason you know that is, for example, you go to a movie and that's the gimmick about a movie, that it's like really realistic and it's characters talking and it's all CG. But the thing is, they don't always say that about every movie, and so you're watching a movie that's actually done in 3D, but you don't notice because you don't like, you're not told that it's 3D. So that's kind of one of those.
Yeah, it's really cool. I get a lot of like creative flows with this kind of. Also, if you're talking about the Matrix, I can try to build like a character a little bit Neo-like, and that something with this game. Like if he is playing it or living it, like this should become really unclear or something. I think there can be something in.
So you were saying something about your band. You're recording a new album, and do you know, when are you planning on releasing, or are you?
Our next album we are planning to release in in a year, in 2021, because we have like a year ago we probably something like that we released our previous album, and it was pressed on vinyl. And now during these 2 months we had a lot of gigs to promote the vinyl, and now this wasn't possible yet, so we'll take some more time to promote this vinyl before we go to the next album. But it will be like right after our tour of March, then we will immediately release the next album, probably, to have see what it gives with the festivals and stuff.
What type of festivals are you planning on playing on?
Yeah, it's difficult to plan on this moment, of course, because a lot of festivals have just put their lineup of 2020 to 2021, so it's not yet clear on what festivals we would be able to play this year. So it will depend about how we evolve in the next year, if we get some big festivals. But I try to be not too unrealistic, but also to be a little bit realistic about it, and it's just waiting, and we make our music, and if there are some festivals interested, we will hear, but we are not quite in the position to say we are definitely going to play Rockwerchter and Pukkelpop next year. So, but who knows? Like it can also go really quickly. But we are actually mainly focusing on small festivals in not only in Belgium. That's a good thing, I think. So. We have a German booker as well, and we will probably next summer have like some small festivals for sure, and then depending on how it goes with the band and with the promotion of vinyl and our next album, maybe some more as well. But it's difficult to be sure or certain of anything in music these days. But we have a lot of ideas and plans with the band, so that's good.
Not sure if we talked about this a lot last time, but what countries have you been to with your band? I think you.
We have played quite. The country we played the most is France. So there we have been quite often. With there is something about France and psychedelic rock. Like Serge Gainsbourg even is a little. This is bass lines. If you listen closely, it's really like this typical 60s bass. And so we went 10 times to France, or we had 10 gigs in France already, something like that. And then we went also to Spain. We had 2 gigs in in Austria. We have now a gig booked, and we also played one time already. We played in the Netherlands, in Germany a couple of times. So yeah, like neighboring countries in this moment most of all, but mostly France, apparently. And for September, we have also a gig in Poland for the first time. So that will be a new country for the first time. And then March next year, then we have also quite a lot booked already. And I can say that Italy will be there, and Switzerland.
Okay, nice.
So yeah.
Yeah, I guess it will be a wait about. Let's hope there's not going to be another corona next
Yeah,
year.
that's of course the big fear. But by now we're yeah, we had like for March and April 20 gigs or something planned. So for us it's like, yeah, whatever happens now, it's yeah, we just go on or something. Like this is how. Yeah, we had a lot of bad luck with the corona, and let's hope there will be no second wave. But yeah, if it happens, then it happens.
I think if it happens again, nobody's going to care anymore. I think they're gonna go fucking.
Yeah, maybe that's also a good point. Yeah, yeah, but we yeah. We had some bad luck with it last time, but this is also like a global pandemic. When does this happen again? Like if it happens again on the same moment that we have our shows planned for next year, then it would be that would be like mathematically almost impossible. But yeah, I don't dare to be too optimistic about it neither. So it's just waiting and hoping and trying,
Yeah.
but like not much certainty.
I have like a small theory that it's like probably going to make things worse to have like social distancing and stuff.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, if you keep people from each other, the viruses that like survive are the ones that can lay dormant the longest. So the ones that you actually are going to start contracting are the ones that are going to be the ones that you don't notice until it's too late, kind of like HIV or AIDS. And so, so I think that's how those diseases were formed, because in Africa you have like small villages, and if
Yeah.
someone had like a flu or whatever, you know, the only people that would get it was these small villages. So it could be potentially that those diseases were, you know, formed because if a disease lays dormant for many years, it has more time to spread when two villages or something start attacking each other and like blood is spilled and they get infected. That's like a way that it, but it's like I don't know. That's like just
Yeah,
a
but
random thought I had.
it's for me it was also a thought that I had on a certain point. Like if now people go en masse back together again, like on a festival or something, then we would have so much diseases because everyone or a lot of people are so healthy on this point that their immune system is it's not like weaponed for any disease or something. So yeah, it makes sense in a way, but I think also our bodies are strong or something, like we can. They are made to fight with disease and with viruses. So after a million years of evolution, so it's, I don't think like this, like how we have had it like the last 2 or 3 months. For me, it seems almost impossible that it happens again and or within our lifetime.
Yeah, it's possible.
But yeah, maybe we all die of a cold now. So
Yeah, and tomorrow, like or next year, it's like a new ice age, and we're all going to die from that.
yeah.
Everyone is going to be panicking about that. So I think for now we have a good episode, and I think we have said most of it. I think I am going to ask a question. I think I'm going to make this a question that I'm going to start asking everyone, but if I don't forget, but like, what do you think about the future? What do you think the future is going to be like? It doesn't matter, you don't have to say something general, or maybe something in the future of whatever you do, but what do you think the future will be like?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think we should definitely do a lot of things completely different than how we do it today. Like, I think our capitalist industrial way of production is really causing a lot of troubles also in poor countries where, like, for even our phones and stuff, Milo Rau made a good movie on this. Like, there are mines in Congo, they are mining there for cobalt to put in our phones and stuff like this, and they live in terrible conditions. So besides the climate problems, there are still like a lot of social economic problems with this system, and I think that or the way that it is organized will change in a radical way, or like just a lot of people will drop out the system in a way. Like, you see this happening in France, for instance. You see a lot of, on the countryside, communes, like, of people going together and doing everything themselves. And this is what I think that will happen more, maybe, if the system keeps, like, being so, how to say, like discriminating in a way. Like, a lot of people will never get the chance to even talk about, like, what we are talking about, like, about arts and this is really crazy, actually, how this system works. Like, for me, I'm also quite pessimistic about it. I think it will maybe only get worse. Because there is, like, this inherent growth in the system, and it seems like just a machinery. Like, no one is in charge. Like, it just keeps on turning, and no one can stop it from turning this capitalist machinery. And that's where I have a rather pessimistic view. That maybe. The only way will be to go live on the countryside or something like that, or like alternative, creative initiatives will be taken more and more all the time. And maybe this will be the way to see if there are no more people to support the system, then it will still be there, like, but just like an empty machinery or something turning, and maybe that will be the way that we defeat capitalism. But this is what I hope for the future, that people will start to think about more, that also our consumption and that we are so lucky to be in the West here, and we have so good economic standards and healthcare, and so we should only make it sustainable. I think that this is the real problem, that in the way we are doing it now, it's just not sustainable. Like we're basically destroying the earth, and the only thing we can do about this is maybe save the system, maybe save the healthcare we have here and stuff, but at least find ways to keep it, like not to abandon it completely maybe, but like hybrid ways in combination of self-sustainability and like initiatives within companies and stuff to make it more sustainable. I think this is a real it's not my problem or something like it. This is a real thing for everyone to think about, and I think this is something definitely for the future that will be on the agenda. So this is how I see politically what can happen or what should be happening. Or you see also more and more people who are engaged to make this world less capitalist. So that's a good thing, I think. Maybe the true will be somewhere in between the radical pessimism of like an ever continuing machinery that is devastating everything, and humans being able or capable to save themselves. Like, I think the future will be somewhere in between these two.
Do you really think that it's capitalism that's the problem, or is it more that like capitalism and the way it functions right now, that it's just more of an evolutionary part of something else, that we're like now there's like still people that like do their work in like you said in what was it that they're mining again, like obsidian or cobalt? Yeah, that like yes. The mining and those stuff, we are doing that now because we are building machines and we are thinking and we're testing those machines and looking at all the capabilities, but at some point we're going to have those machines that do those jobs for us. So actually it's more a thing where now it's like an evolutionary part, and that the capitalism will always be there, but that the problems of capitalism are going to disappear because capitalism then creates machines that can capitalism is always optimizing and trying to make more profit, and then because of that it's actually kind of like solving its own problems, that if we guide it the right way. I just had that thought.
Yeah, I think indeed I am also rather like there is like a real huge potential for humans to have indeed machines working for them and do everything, and this is like the point we need to think about as a society. What will we be doing? And this is where I think like the real capitalist power is the problem. Like they don't see that, or they don't want to see that this is possible. Even like machines doing everything, and it sounds it's like so real for me as well in a way. Like it's weird to not see this possibility of just having the machines and then leave them just not building new machines, but just maybe upgrading it sometimes in one every 10 years or something, like, and just people can do so much more within their lifetime. And but I think the problem with the capitalist power is that we should make money, and this is, for example, for arts, I think is a real problem. Of course, this will never be an argument for a capitalist to think differently, because with arts you don't need money, right? So there's we should think maybe without money a little more, and then it seems for me completely real what you're saying. But I would say, like, do not underestimate the powers that are controlling the system. And I think this is like a step we have to make still as a society. Like in a democracy, there are so many people who would completely disagree, and so it's too bad. But I think indeed that you're completely right, and that we should just make it even more conscious in our society that this is not like utopia or something. Like it can be completely real if we think about it collectively and individually. And
Yeah, definitely. I definitely also agree with like some certain things can not everything great is done for money, you know? Like not everything that's good has necessarily like a price tag attached to it or something like that.
Exactly. Maybe quite the opposite, even. If it's really, really good, then and you can't count it in money, so in a way.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we've got a good 15 minutes in, so we're gonna stop here, and I'm gonna fit those two together, the one from last time and the one from this time. And then, you know, I'll see you again at some point.
Yeah, sure. It was especially this idea about the engine. I'm gonna think about this, and we see you next time.
Yeah. Okay. Look.
You.
Yo.